Good morning. Good afternoon. Here we are doing some yoga in the kitchen with me, Kanda, your yoga teacher for this morning. You've arrived. You're all sitting on your mat, so I'd like you to join me in a comfortable seat. A comfortable seat. Before we actually get into a comfortable seat, let's do some butterflies to check how our hips are doing. Putting our soles of our feet together, toes together, hands helping feet to keep a tight hold, and we're just gonna flap our, just gonna play with the weight of our legs, kind of flapping our wings as if we're butterflies, feeling the muscles of our hip flexors. Let's see how that feels. Just kind of checking in with your body here. And take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale that all out. Inhale it again, focusing on extending that belly button all the way outwards as it expands around your torso. And for your exhale, sigh it all out, emptying your belly and feeling a little more engagement and opening in those hip flexors as we breathe into there. Now, start by massaging your feet a little bit, pressing into your toes, into your skin, into the heel and the arch, using your thumb strength to make circles around the muscle of the feet. Because I find we neglect our feet quite a bit. They just do so much for us. Little did they know, this yoga's for feet. Yoga is a foot practice. I don't know if you knew that. Okay. Nair, coming out of this butterfly, we're gonna come into an easy seat, either cross-legged, putting right leg in front of us, and yawning because we're a little bit tired. Caressing our legs here, hands on our thighs, and feeling that skin around our thighs, our knees, coming back into stillness. Looking far in front of you and letting your gaze soften. No need to close your eyes here. Coming into noticing, into observing where you are. Softly accepting the colors that come into your eyes. Noticing the sounds and how far they may be. Cars driving, wind blowing, AC humming. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Breathing on your own time now. Going as slow or as fast as your body calls for it. Allowing your breath to lead you in the way it needs to right now. Softening shoulders down and keeping a parallel chin to the floor. Feeling as if there is a string on top of your head. Extending the top of your head to the sky and feeling that soft engagement in your back as you strengthen, straighten, lengthen, growing. Breathe here. Then on your next inhale, start bringing back movement into your body by slowly tapping your fingers onto your leg, slowly increasing that speed and frequency until your fingers come off your leg, slowly rising and rotating those wrists towards the inside to begin. And maybe changing the directions of both hands. Now spreading fingers as you roll your hands in these circles. Keeping the eyes closed here if you still want. And then bringing palms together, let's make a little heat in between our hands. And when you are feeling that fire, put those palms onto your eyelids, feeling the heat transfer to your eyes, holding them, delivering some healing. We see so much pain in our everyday, and sometimes it gets overwhelming. It gets even scary. Let your hands hold your fears here. Noticing how dark it is behind your hands. On your next inhale, slowly descend your fingers in front of your eyeballs, opening them as your hands are still, as your fingers are still tightly against each other, noticing the light come in softly. And then when you're ready, spreading your fingers slowly as the room comes back into view. And give a soft smile. And on your next inhale, we'll begin with some neck stretches, bringing our right ear to our right shoulder and bringing the right hand to help that head come down just a little bit, bringing our left hand to lift rotating that palm to face the sky and breathing into that left side here, that left neck, feeling that tension potentially if you're dealing with that. Lifting that left hand a little higher here, playing with the height, seeing where there's a little more tension and maybe staying in that for a second as you breathe deeply, exhaling. Oh. On your next inhale, lift head up, left hand down, bringing left ear to left shoulder, letting gravity see how far you can take it. Then when you're ready, bring that left hand to your right ear, pushing down gently. Then on your next inhale, lifting up that right hand, rotating palm up to sky. Inhale. 100% was alive before 1000. On your next inhale, bringing that hand back up to neutral. And then inhaling, chin all the way up to sky. Feeling the weight of your head as it falls down. Feeling the weight. I'm just gonna sit on this because I'm a little tired. Ooh, okay, block. Sometimes using a block feels like a failure. It is not. It is just support. Like, we're allowed to have support. I'm a teacher, I should tell you that. Okay. So coming out of that head. Whew. Gonna take a few breaths here. Putting hand on chest and stomach. I like to bring down my pants to feel my belly and my chest. And then on that first inhale here, extending our belly button all the way out. And exhaling, feeling that belly button touch our spinal cord, emptying the belly. And again, inhaling, extending our belly outwards. And exhaling all that air out. Inhale again. And exhaling. Inhale once more. Bring hands to thighs, looking right in front of you as far as your eyes can see. And then looking all the way to the tip of your nose, so close, seeing our nose in a different way, or in the only way our eyes can see. And then looking back straight in front of us as far as our eyes can see. And right back in front of our noses. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale. Inhale to look all the way to the right without moving your head. Feeling that stretch of the eye as we reset our eyes from looking at all of our screens all the time. Get it's pretty exhausting. Keep looking to the right here. Inhaling if you're feeling a little challenging, and then inhale back to neutral. Exhale. Inhale to look over all the way to the left. Keeping head neutral. Eyes extending towards the left. On this side, for me, I see the bridge of my nose. And it's kind of cool. Vision is insane. Alright, inhaling back to neutral. Exhaling out. Looking up to the sky. Keeping head same. This one for me, I tend to like to look up. So I have to be very mindful of keeping that chin up. Parallel to the floor. And just looking up. Coming back to neutral. And inhale down towards the ground, keeping head neutral. Keeping the shoulders melted back under your to the back. And really stretching here. And then looking right in front of you. And now let's do 3 circles going towards the right, starting from the top, right, and then going over to the left 3 times. Okay, take a deep breath here for 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale out. Taking a few breaths on your own time here. Okay. Okay. Before going into some asanas, let's do the B breath for us to energize and to allow us to be more knowledgeful. Question mark? Starting with your thumbs here, prepare them on your tragus, because when we're going to start, we're going to press into our tragus so we're not going to hear anything. But before you do that, I want you to hear me speak it out. So thumbs ready on tragus, ready to press in. Then our first finger goes on top of our eyebrow. Our second fingers here go on top of our eyelids when they're going to be closed. Our third finger here is going to go underneath our eye, pressing just as our, just put up our nose, but just where the bone starts in the nose. And then our pinky fingers here will be slightly pressing into our nostril, keeping some air coming in and out. And so it's going to look like this as we sit into our seats. We're sitting in our seats, we are sitting in our seats. As we breathing in normally, and on our exhale, we're gonna hum and press into our tragus just like this. So I'm gonna inhale for 1. So when you're ready, pressing into your tragus. I don't know if I can really number this. I think we're just going to go in our own times. Let's do 3 cycles of an inhale for 4 and an exhale for 7. So we're going to be humming for 7. And everyone starts at your own time. So begin. I will start with an inhale for 4. Let's inhale for 4. Oh my god. Let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Hum. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Hum. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blessings, 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 blessings. Off your blocks now. We're going to go into a tabletop position. I want to say the most basic of the asanas in terms of like balancing our weight as low impactfully as possible. So we're gonna flip our feet so the back of our foot are touching the mat. We're going to press into our hands underneath our shoulders here, knees underneath our hips. And just, we're gonna sit here and really feel what comes up as we slowly circle around our hands here. Really noticing the change of weight through each finger and hand. And then just moving with it. If you feel called to, maybe swerving your body like a little snake or worm. And doming that back here in preparation for our cat later. And just extending your stretches. And then when you're ready, come back and meet me in a tabletop still pose. Press into your palms here. As if you're pushing onto a wall, you feel that engagement in the shoulders. And we're just gonna push in here, breathing for 4, 3, 2, 1, exhaling out. Now let's press into our thumbs. Press, 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 press into our thumbs and relax. Pressing into our first finger, press, 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 just our first fingers on both hands and relax. The third finger there, let's press into it, engaging, keeping that engagement in our shoulder as we push into the ground, pushing into the finger as well, and relax. Pushing into third finger here, press, press, press. This one is a little more tough for me anyway, as I just focus on it and I push into shoulder, push, 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 and relax. And then last finger here, pinky, push into palm, and into that shoulder engagement. Press, 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 and relax. And on our next inhale, we're gonna look all the way up to the sky as we stretch into our bellies here for our first cat. And exhale to round our backs and going as slowly as you can, so you can really feel where the tension is in the back as you push into the hands. Keep on engaging those shoulders. And inhale to look back up. Exhaling, doming the back. Inhale to look up.
And also, if you feel like not doing any of these poses, you are welcome.
You are welcome to just lay on your mat,
to stay here, to be with yourself. Your practice is yours. And there's no one that will judge you for doing what you need to do.
We are our harshest critic, truly.
Truly, 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 the harshest of all critics.
And just to check how our balance is here, coming back to neutral, we're gonna press into the backs of our feet and we're gonna lift our knees just slightly to see where that alignment is in our hips. So pressing into the backs of the feet, engaging those shoulders, feeling the shake that might occur, may it come from our shoulders or our core. And on that exhale, coming down. Relax. On our next inhale, we're gonna press back into those feet for 2 full breaths. All right? So inhaling up and exhaling. Pushing into those hands, engaging those shoulders, rotating the inside of our elbows toward the front, and inhaling here. And exhaling to lean those legs back onto the floor. And coming back to neutral spine here as we feel that warmth start up inside of us as we're pushing our bodies in ways that are a little uncomfortable, but I know we can do it. Let's take a break for our wrists here. I should have done that. Let's go into child's pose, pushing into our hands and resting our hips on our feet. And there's an option here to spread those knees as wide as your mat allows, allowing for space for your belly to really sit in there. So I'm gonna do that. Extending my knees a little wider and then spreading hands in front of me, pushing into our hands like we were doing earlier. And just letting that head relax. I like using a block. Ouch. We got a pimple right on my forehead, so actually, never mind. Never mind. And if you're doing like me, I would switch sides. On the next inhale, pushing into hands, we're gonna do a little wrist stretch here. In tabletop position, we're gonna point our fingers towards each side. And then we're gonna just lean into those sides, doing soft circles, holding at each side, feeling that stretch. Going a couple cycles around. And then rotating those fingers towards your knees, if you can. I actually don't think I can today. And so, let's bring the ground a little higher up and just letting the weight from our hips lead us here, taking close attention to how your wrists feel, and then flipping it over towards the back of the hand, fingers still pointed towards your legs. This time I like to really put the weight into my heels and my hips, feeling the stretch, the tops of my hands, which is a really nice one. Maybe even rotate that inside elbow to face the front. And then towards the front here. Okay. Shake that off. No, come back to it. So now we're going to spread those toes, preparing them to lift us up into our first downward dog. So prepare those feet, engage those hands. Remember those shoulder engagements, they'll come in handy as we do our downward dog. And so inhale, pushing into our downward dog, keeping those knees bent generously, and then pedaling out those feet, pushing our heels towards the ground. Pushing those hands too, remembering to engage those fingers, our shoulders, arriving here. Whew, arriving here. And then coming into stillness. On your next inhale, bring your right leg up into three-legged dog. Keeping that left knee bent, but stretching out that right leg. Keeping those toes pointed towards the ground. Lifting it up just slightly. And on that exhale, bringing it on the outside of the right hand into our lizard pose. Bringing left knee down to the ground. And just seeing where that inside hip flexor is feeling that tightness the most. I like to flip that foot onto its side and maybe push into that knee. Getting a stretch into that ankle and our feet. Engaging the hand, shoulder, keeping that balance. You should be able to go onto the backs of your foot here with no problem. But that takes a lot of alignment and breathing. Keeping that breath here. Bringing foot, sole down, back to the floor. And coming onto our forearms, if you'd like to strengthen this stretch. And here, we'll have a little moment of stillness as our exhales make us come deeper into our stretch. Remember to engage that foot, pushing into the ground here. Trying to have equal force on the other knee as we even it out with our forearms on the ground or supports. Inhaling here. Exhale out. Inhale. Exhale out. Two more here. Inhale.
Inhale. And exhale. Pushing into the floor, coming back onto a high lizard. Gonna push this foot right back into our three-legged dog. Ugh. Ooh. And coming back into downward dog. And just pedaling up the feet here, maybe feeling the difference between both sides. As your heel is heavy. On that next inhale, bring left foot up into three-legged dog. Keeping the balance in between the both hands and the right foot equal. Keeping those fingers and toes activated. And remembering to keep that left foot straight. Right foot can be bent as generously as needed, keeping those left toes pointed towards the ground. Lift up that left foot just a little bit higher here. And on that next exhale, on that exhale, bring that left foot on the outside of your left hand, kicking any supports, bringing that right knee down. Coming onto a high lizard here. And maybe if you're feeling up to it, going on to the side of your foot, left foot, and maybe even pushing into that knee here. Engaging those right hand, keeping a straight line from shoulder to wrist. Pushing in. Bringing in our blocks if you want. Oh yes, and bringing the sole back down to the ground. Gonna go into just a deeper lizard here. The deeper lizard here. Deeper lizard. Deeper. Okay. Ooh, this side may notice now that one side is probably a lot more tender than the other side. And it might hurt. It might hurt just a little bit, but like in a fun way. Breathing here. At every exhale, see if you can find more space in your front right hip here, or even in your inside hip left flexor. Breathing now, inhale with me. And exhale out. Inhale for 4. And exhale out. One more here. Exhale. Coming onto our hands, removing our support blocks here. Coming back, pushing back into three-legged dog. Oh. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. It seems really difficult. Keeping straight. Bringing left foot down, bringing knees down, and coming into that child's pose. walk your hands a little bit further to get that stretch in the top and the high back and in the shoulders. If you don't have a big pimple like me, I may be rolling the forehead on the floor, giving yourself a little massage on your brain for all the big thoughts you've been having. Maybe the overthinking thoughts that keep on coming. Tend to them, and maybe they won't be so aggressive. On your next inhale, let's tent our fingers here. Looking towards our hand, let's walk them towards the right. Bop, 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 bop. Make them do a little dance. And then resting here. Feeling that stretch in your left side body. If you'd like to make the stretch a little stronger, you could even lift that left hand and put it on top of your right. Though there is no forcing here. You're allowed to be in supportive positions without it hurting. On your next inhale, let's walk our hands towards the middle and walking towards the left side now. Stretching into right side. And as you may make it a little stronger by walking that right hand to meet the left wrist and extending here. On your next inhale, walking our hands back into the middle, pushing back into a tabletop position. We're gonna lift into our feet and do a high plank here. And we're gonna breathe here, pushing into our hands like we were doing in tabletop, engaging those shoulders. Breathing and exhaling. Pushing into our hands here, being strong, feeling the energy, the heat warming us. And on your next inhale, let's flip our heels towards the right. Lifting that left hand to meet our left hip. Pushing into right hand into our high plank. And if this is too much of a strength here, you could always bring that left foot forward in front to help us here, or bringing that right knee down, keeping that left leg extended. Still engaging that hand in that shoulder, really allowing yourself to lengthen here. From the tips of your toes, from actually the side of your foot to the top of your head should be an extended line here. And so, had a feeling here. That's not good. Wonder why that happened. No wonder there's a little pain. If there is a little pain, move out. Retract any movement you were just doing, because it is not worth. And then inhale back into neutral, or back into high plank here. Breathing, pushing into the mat. You could always go down on your knees. On your next inhale, bringing those heels to the left side. Bring your hand to your hip, and you are in high plank on the other side. Option here to lift up that right leg up. I'm really tired. Coming into our high plank. And push into down dog. I don't know if the teacher's supposed to say that they're tired. Is that allowed? I don't know. Walk your hands towards your feet. Go as slow as you want, Rose. I'm gonna go as slow as I want. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. And we're gonna meet here in a forward fold, babes. Bend your knees as much as possible, holding opposite elbows, hanging here. Shake, 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 shake if you feel called to. Maybe I feel like sometimes I should have music because there's moments like this where I want to jam. But most of the time, the whole time, I hate music. Imagine that. Musicians like music. How crazy is that? I think we're getting to the end of the thing because I'm getting frack and just. Oh yeah? Yes. Okay. Rolling up slowly. Coming into Tadasana, heel toeing your feet to be just hip width. Head rolling all the way on top of your spine. And arriving here. We've been on the ground for a while. Rotating your palms to face right in front of you. Bringing shoulders up, back, and down. Keeping head, chin parallel to floor. And this is a moment where thoughts run wide. Spreading fingers out, fingers pointed towards the ground, even pulling towards the ground, feeling the weight of your shoulders heavy. Toes pressed into ground, big toe, pinky toe, heels, feeling the weight shift until it balances out. Micro bend in the knees. Hip tucked slightly. Gaze softer, eyes closed. Allowing yourself to stand in this pose, to feel the strength. Tadasana, one of my favorite poses. Something to come back to at any time of the day. And relax body. Shake that out. Coming back to the ground here. And to our butterfly and seeing how that feels now after doing a few exercises to open it up, open it up, open it up. Flapping a little here. Thanking yourself for
making it out on the mat today. Even if it's just you, and you had plans for others to meet you, be thankful that you kept to your word. When you're ready, meet me on your backs. Doing any last minute,
last minute stretches, happy baby. And just allowing yourself to settle into Shavasana. Rest your final resting pose for this afternoon. Allowing your feet to fall to the sides of your mat, toes pointing towards the sides, your palm opening towards the sky, shoulder down your back. And just being here. Soften your gaze maybe, or close your eyes. Feeling your body and its ways of working. Hearing the birds thanking you for exercising. And then coming back to your breath to rest. Often in Shavasana, there will be thoughts that come to mind. Thoughts that I'd rather not mind. But in mindfulness, we accept what thoughts come into our heads and do not let it terrorize us. We thank it for coming into memory and let it move on to its next journey. Like a leaf in the wind, it does not stop to be watched. It continues on its path. Allow your thoughts to continue on their path. Allow yourself to continue on yours, full of happiness, kindness, consideration for your whole being. This will overflow, and your loved ones will feel it too. Thank you for being you. When you're ready, starting to bring back a little movement into the feet, the toes, wiggling them, and then rotating them slowly. As we're doing that, we'll start with your fingers. Starting a rotation, starting your warmth, coming back into the room. And on your inhale, bring hands up on top of your head, stretching out like a cat. Bending hands and feet towards the right side as if you're a banana, feeling that stretch in left side. And going over to the other side. Welcome. And coming back, and then slowly coming onto your right or left side, whichever one you want. Holding yourself here in the fetal position, thanking yourself for coming again. Pushing into your left hand up into a seat. Eyes open or closed, give yourself a soft smile, thanking again for having come to your mat today. Bringing hands into prayers, bending, hinging towards the ground, thanking the earth for holding us here today and always. Exhaling back up, putting hands back behind you, doing a slight back bend, letting head fall behind. Inhaling. Coming back to neutral. Hands to thighs. And that is all for today. Thank you for coming to this class, baby.